guys, welcome to a brand new video on my channel, Meg's Movies. If you are new to this channel, this is basically where I talk to you guys about my passion for movies. This goes from collections, hauls, reviews, and to today's video, so let's get into it. Okay, and I've got Luna here with me. She's just laying about. I know you like seeing Luna. But today we are doing an original versus remake, or shall I say, animation versus live action. Obviously, with this being animation month, I have decided to obviously do some of the Disney live action remakes. And today I'm doing Dumbo. Yes. This is also a first time watch for me, both the animated and the live action. So please bear in mind, when I am talking about these films, I have only watched these the once. So this is just going off my first viewing, sort of like how my thoughts are and things like that. So obviously, if you are new to this channel and you haven't seen this series before, I talk about both films, both animated and live action, give you my thoughts on both, and then I let you guys know which one I preferred the most. And as always, I put a poll up on my YouTube and also on my Instagram to get your guys' feelings on these films, and it was a resounding yes to the animated version. So you all liked the 1941 animated version. So now I'm going to give you my opinions on both these films, starting with the animated 1941 Dumbo. Okay, so just a quick plot summary from what I can get of watching it. Basically, Dumbo is this big-eared elephant, and it's basically, how's the best way to explain it? He's basically different from other elephants, and everyone sort of like disses him. Everyone's sort of like, oh my god, he's a freak, you know. But then he starts sort of like doing things, and yeah. I don't know how else to say it without spoiling things. But that's basically the gist of Dumbo. Is basically this baby elephant gets dropped off, but he's got the biggest ears, and everyone, like I said, just disowns him except for his mum. His mum's the only one that seems to care for Dumbo, although his name's originally Jumbo. I did not know that. See, first time viewing. So sorry for the poor plot summary. Like I said, this is a first time watch for me, so I'm going off what my first thoughts were. Yeah, this was such a dark film. Like, I was not expecting this from Disney, because you have to bear in mind, yes, Disney has been dark, but I don't think it's ever been that dark, at least in the films that I have seen. And it's just the way that they bullied Dumbo, the way they, you know, treated him. It was, I felt so bad for him throughout the entire film, and I don't think I liked that. I don't like the fact that he was treated that way. And I think that's what made me not like the movie so much, because I don't mind when there's a little bit of mistreatment, but then there becomes a miracle and sort of like everyone starts to love him. But as the film went on, it seemed to get worse for him. And that just made me feel really bad. And I know films are supposed to affect you in certain ways, but I just didn't like it. I just didn't like the way, sort of like how the elephants turned away from him when his mum got taken away just because she was being protective of her son. You know, it was so sad to see that the other elephants were just like, he's a freak, let's stay back, let's pretend we don't know him, you know. And yet it's supposed to be that, I thought elephants were supposed to be sort of like stick together, you know, don't stir away from each other, like they help each other out. And then his only friend was the mouse, and I absolutely loved the mouse. He defended him, and he was adorable. He was there for Dumbo. He kept him going, motivated him, helped him go and see his mum, you know, taught him how to fly. It's all so weird and random. And yeah, for me, I didn't like it that much. And like I said, I think it's because of how much it hurt me seeing Dumbo like that, because I don't know if anyone knows this about me, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on my channel, but throughout my entire high school years I was bullied. It was by the same person. School did nothing, there was other people that did it as well, and I never felt I felt like Dumbo. I felt like the weirdo. I felt like, because I was a massive Doctor Who fan, I carried Doctor Who things everywhere. You know, I felt like Dumbo in a sense. I just felt like I didn't fit in, and it was just, so I understand Dumbo a little bit more. Obviously it weren't anything like I got called a freak or anything, but how Dumbo feels is how I felt. Also, the pink elephant scene, I did not realise it was from certain thing happening. So that was a bit odd. I was like, okay, so they've included this into it, and that was trippy. That was so weird. I was freaked out a little bit. I was like, okay, pink elephant scene, extremely weird. But also the weird thing is, I didn't realise it was an hour long. It didn't feel like an hour. It felt like half hour. Especially when it got right near the end. I was expecting there to be more. Like, I thought it was going to be like an hour and a half or something like that. But no, it was literally a full-on hour, and Dumbo learns to fly in like the last 5 to 10 minutes. And it's like, okay. Like, yeah. Honestly, it's weird for me, because normally when I watch a film, it's either too long or it's the right amount of time. I've never had it where it felt too short. But I will say I did like the ending of this film. It was a happy ending, and I'm glad he got that. But I wasn't a massive fan of this film. I think it's just how upset I felt about it, that's all. But now, let's talk about the 2019 remake of Dumbo. Okay, so this is pretty much the same plot line, except this time around, you've got Colin Farrell, who is this father to 2 kids. These 2 kids look after Jumbo, who then becomes Dumbo. But this circus is slightly different. It's sort of like you get more of a backstory, sort of like about the family. You've got Danny DeVito, he's in this, and yeah, so there's some very well-known actors in this one. And it is pretty much the same plot line. Dumbo learns to fly and everything like that. But instead this time there's an evil tycoon kind of guy. He's very much like, I need the next big thing to keep my circus going. And yeah, so it's pretty much the same, except it was longer. It was 2 hours, to which I was quite surprised when I learnt this was 2 hours and the first one's only an hour. But I think I personally preferred this one a little bit more, for the simple fact of, it didn't seem like Dumbo was getting attacked as much as he did in the original. And I think I like the fact that he also had the support of the kids, and you had Colin Farrell, who was very much like, oh, I don't want to take care of elephants, but then takes in Dumbo and sort of like cares for him and is always there for him. And obviously you see more about him learning to fly and things like that. It's a very weird film. I wouldn't say it's one of my favourite live actions. It's a decent one. It's okay. Would I watch it again? Probably maybe one more time. Or maybe if I'm doing a live action marathon, or, you know, if I just felt like watching a bit of Colin Farrell, you know. So it's not one of those ones I would probably watch on repeat. But no, I enjoyed this one a little bit more, and I think it's because it wasn't as dark as what the first film was. I did like Michael Keaton as the villain. He was quite good. What else can I say about that one? I don't think I can say anything else. That's pretty much it, really. It's just set more sort of like, it's still set in sort of like the 1940s, 50s, something like that. But you just got more of a backstory, and you got a bit more you got the sort of like a bit more, it's slightly different to what the original was. And for me, a remake has to do something, even if it's slightly different, to make it feel like it's not copying the original. Yes, you can copy some scenes, you can copy, like the pink elephant scene was done so differently. And I think I actually preferred the pink elephant scene in the remake compared to the animated one. And whether that's because of how the pink elephants came about in the original. But for me, both of these films were a little bit, I'm not 100% sure how I feel on them. Like I said, this is a first time viewing for me. I have only watched these once. Maybe if I give them a couple more watches, my mind might change. But for me, these are films that, don't get me wrong, I had a little bit of enjoyment of each one. I would watch them again. It might be one-time watches, I don't know, as in like a second time watch. But if I had to choose one, because I marked them pretty much both the same on Letterboxd, and if I had to choose one, I would probably go for the live action remake. For now anyway, who knows, maybe my mind might change when I rewatch them in the future. But for me, this one just didn't make me feel as bad. It didn't make me feel sort of like disheartened, as they say. So I know you guys voted for the animated one, and don't get me wrong, I can see why it's a classic. It's beautifully animated. There were certain things I found funny, but I think it's just how dark it was and how much it reminded me of me being bullied in high school. I think that's just sort of like, I think that just sort of pushed me towards more of the live action one. But who knows, maybe I might do a revisited of my original versus remake series in the future, and maybe give these a rewatch maybe further down the line, and give a bit more of a definitive sort of like, you know, maybe I did prefer the animated one over the live action, or maybe I'll still prefer the live action over the animated. I'm not sure. But yeah, I love the fact that you guys voted on my polls. It's really great. I love getting you guys involved in things. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel, then hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell in the corner down below. And also leave me a comment down below your thoughts on both the films. What did you like about the animated? What do you like about the live action? What didn't you like about both films? Just give me your general thoughts, because I'd love to hear them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!